connect and create. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations Podcast. I am your girl, Davina, and I am so excited for another divine interview today with my guest, Lindsey Lee, on Facebook. That's what her name is. But I'm excited to get to know her more, learn about her journey through her, her queendom, and just everything that she has going on, where she's come from, where she's at now, and where she's going. So I am getting ready to bring her in. But before I do, just a reminder to make sure you share this video, like Divinely Crown on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and the website. So I'm going to bring her in and we're going to get this conversation started. Hello.
Hello.
How are you, my dear?
Good.
That's good. So I am going to actually share this now. It's on my business page, but I'm like trying to learn to like share everywhere. So people need to make sure they jump on my, Divinely Crowned page. But either way, welcome to the Divinely Crowned Conversations Podcast.
Thank
And
you.
so what I want to do is just first have you introduce yourself to the people that may not know you.
And if you see me like messing, I have my phone right here just so we can do Instagram live too.
Yes,
But
we're on Instagram live too, y'all. We trying to get all the streets.
I'm trying. That's the one thing I struggle with is the social media thing. But my name is Lindsey Morris. I am 29 years old. I'm about to be 30 next month.
Woo, woo.
I am a nurse. I originally grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania. I did move to Pittsburgh. I lived in Pittsburgh for about 7 years, lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for some time, did travel nursing, which was amazing. Still doing that because, we're still building our business over here.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school to be an esthetician over a year ago, and kind of before that started dabbling in permanent makeup and aesthetics and nurse aesthetics and all of those fun things. Along the way, I've gotten certified in Botox and fillers, different courses and things for brows. We do powder brows, ombre brows. And I originally started out in a little 500 square foot studio in Pittsburgh near the Bridgeville area, if anyone's familiar. And then I came back to Erie for, whatever reason. Just I guess.
Even though you don't feel like it.
I know. And you know what? It's like since I've gotten older, it's grown on me differently. So, but I actually leased a 2,500 square foot space, 2 suites, have grown my business from just me to about 8 women.
Wow.
We have a full microblading permanent makeup studio, which is where I'm at right now because it's a little quieter over here.
Yes.
And then we have a spa on the other side where we have massage therapists, estheticians. We do all the fun things like lashes and waxing and brows and all that stuff. There's some facials going on over there now. So that's why I'm over here.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And we will definitely get into that more because I'm very interested. I see you doing certain things, but I'm like, I don't know all about all that stuff. So I would love to hear more about it for sure. So a little bit backstory about Lindsey and I, how we connected is we used to work at the mall together at 21. She was like one of my little sisters. And we just connected. I always just remember how like spunky and like free-spirited Lindsey was and like how she definitely was into fashion, which of course if you're working at those type of places, and just I always kind of followed you throughout your journey, now even just like commenting on things and stuff like that. So I definitely wanted to get you on here as we're talking about different journeys of women from all walks of life, and just where we come from, where we are, and where we're going. So I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I gotta reach out to Lindsey because she's doing great things, and I've seen,
The
like I
same
said,
with you. You've
thank
like
you.
grown so much, especially in this last year. I feel like you've
Yeah,
just taken
it's
off.
been woo. It's been, even this podcast. I've talked about doing it for so many years, and now I'm doing it. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So
Mhm.
let's start by, like I always say, going back to the beginning. What was little young Lindsey? It doesn't have to be like little Lindsey, but like younger Lindsey, like what were your hopes and dreams? And like I said, we knew each other. You were in, I believe, high school when
Mhm.
we worked at Route 21. So even maybe even further back than that, like what was young Lindsey like?
Oh my goodness. I just want to note that it is, first of all, before we like keep talking, it's 11/11, November 11th,
Yes.
and it's about to be 11/11 on the clock. So
It's
I love that we're
11/11
talking
on
about this.
11/11, and we did this at
Mhm.
11.
Yeah,
Talk about divine,
I know.
divine, divine timing.
I know.
Okay. Woo, gives me chills. I
I
love
know.
it.
So my younger self, all I can remember is just, I mean, I have amazing parents. Like they were always like, work hard, work hard, work hard. So that's what I did. I mean, in high school, I remember I took college classes in the junior year, and I could have graduated as a junior of high
Mm,
school. So my senior year, I took work release, and I was working 2 jobs as a senior in high school. Getting out, I would go to school for one class for 45 minutes, and then the rest of the day I'd be working. I worked at Route 21 and babysitting, and you know what I mean, doing everything. Like
yes.
I'm pretty sure, like I don't really know any other 17-year-old that was bringing home like $1,000 a week type of thing,
Period.
because that's what made me happy. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
whenever I went to college for nursing, and I was like, I don't know, like if this is for me type of thing. It's hard. Like you're seeing people at their most vulnerable points. It's very emotional. And for being someone who's kind of like a sensitive person, it's very like, if you can empathize with people, like it's heavy. It's a heavy
Yeah.
career to do.
Yeah.
But here I am, 8 years later, still doing that.
Yes.
And I just remember seeing myself as this successful person. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how. I didn't know, if it would, how do you think of yourself as this successful entrepreneur as a nurse? You know what I mean? It's like everyone thinks of nursing, you're doing like bedside nursing, you're working at the hospital. Like, how can
Yeah.
you possibly be this successful entrepreneur? And
Mm-hmm.
then it was when my mind started expanding upon, the aesthetic thing. I was like, I love that. You know what I mean? First of all, I've always liked like fashion and beauty and things like that, but expanding upon things that I'm passionate about in a route that I've already been educated in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where this vision came. Like this younger self of me was like, okay, I can see her doing that specifically.
I love that. Yes. And you talk about passion like that. I feel like that is a very big word for us now. Like it's a very it's a trendy word, but it's something that actually is very meaningful and that I
Mhm.
believe that we have to have in order to do what we're doing, the things we're
Most
doing in
definitely.
life, whether it is being a businesswoman or going to school or just all types of all things in life. Like you really need passion to really succeed in them. And for you to say, like I found passion in not, yes, I love the nursing and you're a sensitive person, so you're caring, but to find something that kind of coincides with like, this is going to make me money and this is what I'm passionate about. And now
Mhm.
I'm bringing these two together. And it
Mhm.
already looks like you're very successful in this business realm. So I think that is beautiful. So going back, because when you said your parents, I do remember that from working with you at Route 21 and the relationships you had with them. And
Mhm.
you're daddy's girl. I remember
Yeah.
your dad coming
We
in
fought.
to,
Don't get me wrong. Me and Mark Morris are like the same kind of like hard headed. You're not about to tell me nothing. You're not about to play with
mm.
me. And you know what I mean? And it's just
Yes.
like that. So we kind of butt heads a little bit, but I will tell you what, I really do have some of the best parents on this earth. Like they would just bend over backwards for anybody. They're so caring. And, my dad, he comes off a little bit of rough and rugged, but he's really soft when it comes to, his daughter. So.
Yes. So how important is it with you having those parents when you're growing, not just in this business but in the world? Like how do you feel like having these supportive parents, and yes, you butt heads and things like that, but like how important has it been for you to have those types of relationships with your parents? Because as we're growing, and I believe as so many of us in our generation are healing from things, we realize that some relationships with parents and others are just different and unique. So how was it having your parents even now, maybe, or when you were younger, growing up and having those connections? Like what was that like for you?
I definitely would never ever shy away from saying that having married parents who, I mean, we didn't have it all by any means. Like, I remember when I was younger, my sister like damn near fell through the bathroom floor because the house was, it was not nice. But having parents who modeled like a good marriage, stuck together, weathered storms together, and did nothing but teach us, like, I mean, I had my first job at 14 years old.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So teaching us how to work hard and setting an example of that. My dad always ran his own business on the side from working. He would work all summer, like, 16-hour days, and run his own business on the weekends type of thing. So they set a tone and they set an example that was like, it really did give me a leg up. I don't have a childhood that I have to heal from. I don't have, these childhood traumas, and I'm forever grateful for that. I would never, ever, ever like say that, that's huge stuff to work through.
It is. It is.
Yes.
It is.
So that really, honestly, I'm so grateful and blessed for that. But, they kind of in my younger years just, gave me like that hard, like, gotta work hard, you gotta do this on your own, you gotta get, you know what I mean? Even when I got a car, it was like, okay, you gotta work hard and save your money and get a car, not we're gonna buy you one type of thing.
Yeah.
And just now that I'm older and I've showed them, like, I can do this, I am dedicated to my dreams and my goals, and I work hard. They're so much so in my corner. It's crazy. Like, when I was opening this place, they were here almost every day, like helping me set up furniture, put together the facial beds, painting, you know what I mean, cleaning, washing windows. Like, they were here, and they were like a major foundation for this place.
I love it. Yes, that's awesome. And for you to even say, and that kind of really was like, wow, like you're saying, like, I didn't have a childhood that I had to heal from. And that's powerful to say. That is, I think that's a very powerful thing to be able, and a very special thing to be able to
100%.
say. Because like I said, as we're growing, we're learning, there are a lot of people that maybe realize now, like, oh my God, like, but you being able to say, like, listen, yes, we didn't always have the best life, but like, I don't have to heal from that because, they were always in my corner. And I think that's so special. And I hope you, and I know you do, but I hope you cherish that. And
I do.
so
For
that's
1,000
awesome.
lifetimes, I do.
Yes. And that's so great for sure. And I will be looking back and forth at the comments. I have Evie. She said, totally agree. It makes a huge difference. And I believe she's talking about when you said the thing about, having those 2-parent household, because I grew up in a 2-parent household, and I remember having like all these friends who did it. And I'm like, I feel so bad for you. And I believe that is a blessing to say, like, I grew up in a 2-parent household. Like, I saw a marriage that, worked, and, my parents who were supportive. So I just think that is awesome. So I know you are a new mama as we're talking about parenting. So how old is your baby girl?
She just turned 5 months yesterday.
5 months. So first of all, how has that been being a new mom?
Oh my gosh. It's the best thing ever, but it's the craziest thing ever. Like, I'm so used to, like, I've worked night shifts for a long time. Like, I would work night shifts, especially when I was first getting into, building this. I'm working night shifts, and then I'm up all day, you're trying to operate when the rest of the world is, open. So you got to function on no sleep, but this is just a different type of tired. Like it really is.
I know.
She's so active. She wants to be up all day, just doing, she's not the type to just nap and nap and nap. Like she's so crazy. So I'll be here during the day, be up all day with her. She comes to the spa all the time. If ever, some of our customers have come in, they see her sitting in her little bouncy seat right up front with our receptionist a lot of the times. So, sorry. And she's just, she's crazy. And I'm doing like exclusively pumping, which any like breastfeeding mamas or anything like that, like, that it's crazy. Like that's a crazy journey, especially in the beginning to like, you're like, holy cow, there's so much pressure. I'm this tiny human's whole food source. Like just add more pressure on to everything that's going on. And then I did go back to work. I took a travel contract in the local area for pediatric nursing. And so I went back to work working full-time night shifts when I was only 6 weeks postpartum.
Wow.
So yeah, it's crazy. Like I am a lot of the times feel like I'm drowning. I feel like I'm losing my marbles, a lot of the times, but I just try to stay organized, stay on top of everything. And I have the best support system. Like these girls that work at this spa and the brow side, like they don't let me slip for nothing. Like they will do whatever they can to, maybe take a task off my shoulders or remind me of something I may have forgotten about because I'm like half delusional most of the time. I'm not sweet, but they're amazing.
Yes. Wow. Yes. You got to go ahead, girl. I'm just loving this right now. That is awesome, Lindsey. Like I said, from knowing you as a young Lindsey, none of this surprises me, but just hearing it and hearing your journey so far is really a beautiful thing to hear, truly. So you talk about, having all this on your plate and, feeling like you're drowning at times. And for me, mental health, if you see me, if anybody, I'm always talking about mental health. Like I've been in therapy for 5 years now, and it's definitely helped, but there's so much. So tell me, I guess, what is your way of maybe dealing with when those times come that you are drowning? Like you said, you're a new mom, and I know so many new moms right now. I know so many moms that this is their first time, especially being business owners or just going after their dreams. They're a new mom trying to figure it out. You're saying, I'm learning how to, I got to pump for my baby and all this. So is there anything that maybe even you can give maybe an idea of for other moms that you do to take care of yourself and your mental health?
Yeah. I by no means have it all figured out at this point, but I'm learning.
None of us do.
Yeah.
It's give yourself grace.
To learn. So I would definitely say lean on your support systems if you have them. Like her dad is amazing. He's very hands-on with her and, takes her and whatever. So I'm learning to kind of, okay, step back, take a breath. Even just me coming here today, kid-free is kind of it's that little mental health break. You definitely need to lean on your support system, and you have to stay true to some of your practices from before becoming a mom. Like if you regularly got your nails done or whatever, then do that. Or if you regularly got facials, then do that. You want to not lose yourself and lose your identity and I'm just a mom type of thing, in which I 1,000% have. I'm not going to sit here in front on here but that's one thing that you have to do to keep your level-headedness. You have to maintain your identity as who you are, separate from being mom. And I've also just recently, I was really in the thick of postpartum. I'm like, you know what? I think I need to reach out and try a therapist. I'm just, like I said, I feel like I'm just way in over my head with everything that I have going on. I need somebody professionally to talk to, because I know you can't just talk to friends and family and whoever, because you're weighing that on them and they don't always have the right things to say to you in response. So that's something that I would definitely recommend as well.
Good. And I'm so proud of you for taking that step because I'm realizing more and more as I'm recommending it to people that, you know, some people are still like that it's a stigma, but I also
Mhm.
know that our generation once again, and I'm going to speak to millennials cuz that's what I'm geared towards is our millennials have made it like cool almost
Yeah.
to go to therapy. And I think that is very huge because we did not grow up with that. Like I've even thought like therapies for crazy people and things like that growing up
Mhm.
because we didn't understand it. But now that we have taken the steps to learn more about what that means and what looks like, it's so beneficial. And like you said, like your family doesn't always understand. They want to just take your pain away or take that anxiety away. And it's like, no, we don't want you to do that. We just want you to sometimes just listen and things.
Mhm.
And I get that it's hard to separate the two. So going to therapy and having that unbiased opinion, that person that's just going to be like, listen, I'm listening to you, but I can also give you some tools and things like that. Like, I think it's a great thing. And I'm so proud of you for
Mhm.
taking that step because it's not only going to help you, it's helping your baby girl and just, be continuing to be this happy baby girl she is because mommy is learning how to cope
Mhm.
with things that she's dealing with. So I commend you on that for sure. So yes, I always love these
This is good.
conversations just keep
Yeah.
getting better. How you
And
feeling so far?
I also tell people like even if you're not a spiritual person, like having spiritual practices that you
Mhm,
value or just little like it sounds weird to say, but like rituals, like
mhm,
just things that you hold true to you to keep in
mhm,
place.
mhm.
I think that's super valuable. Like I always write down goals, like, and that's how I hold myself accountable. So
Mhm.
even when I'm not feeling like, I don't really want to be posting on social media today. I don't really want to be, getting up and doing my routine. No, like, that that's what's going to hold you accountable and you're going to show up for it and you can check it off. Like, I'm such a list person, check it right off my list. Like, and that's what keeps me going. Honestly, it really is what keeps me going.
That is so good. You're giving some real gems right here for people to just be able to use. Like I'm big into like writing it down, making it plain and being
Hmm.
able to, like you said, check that stuff off and see. I feel like that's even a part of self-care and self-love is being able to write goals and check them out. Even if it's a daily task, like I got this done and this done and being able to be proud of yourself, that
Hmm.
really helps with your mental too. So you
It
are
does.
definitely dropping some gems for the
Uh,
people out there. So I love this. So I
I'm an open book. That's what I
yes,
tell everybody. I'm an open book. If you ever got questions, like I feel like people gatekeep information. So like if you got questions and you trying to start a business or whatever, you got questions about LLCs or whatever, I might not be, the most well-informed person in that area, but I can help you find the answers and I can
yes,
help you. You know what I mean? Like
yes,
we're
for
not
sure.
gatekeeping around here.
Listen, well, tap into Lindsey if you need some advice, but don't, be patient with her because she's a mama and a business owner.
I know, right?
So I want to go back to college.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I followed you like kind of like just obviously on Facebook. You can stay. I love Facebook because you can stay connected to the
Hmm.
people you grew up with and stuff. And in college, you were in a sorority.
I was.
Okay. Yes. And you were in a predominantly or all black sorority.
Hmm.
Was it predominantly or all?
Predominantly. I mean,
Okay.
it's inclusive. So,
Inclusive. So tell
yeah.
me about I just thought it was so dope when I was
I
like, of course Lindsey is.
know.
So tell
I
me
know.
about that. What
God
one
made
were
me
you
like
in?
put a little bit of seasoning in there.
Yes.
Um, so that was never like when I went, first of all, it was a culture shock when I left Erie and went to Pittsburgh and
Mhm.
went to this like private university. It was predominantly white university. It just, I see these kids who mommy and daddy are buying them Mercedes Benzes and whatever, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I don't even have a car right now. Like this is crazy. And I definitely was not thinking about joining any type of like sorority with all these like girls that were just not my same type of people.
Yeah.
So,
I get it.
whatever. I ended up joining the step team.
Okay.
I seen there was like a little flyer for it, so I'm like, oh yeah, like that
That's
is
my
right up
people.
my alley. And I met her name's Raven Bellamy when she just got married, so she has a new last name.
Nice.
But I met Raven, and she's literally the sweetest person ever. She's like, we were on the step team together. We go through the whole basketball season or whatever. And she's like, you should come on Friday to like my reveal. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I go. It's her like probate, like coming out show. They wear a mask, they unmask. I was like, this is awesome. Like, it was such a tight knit community. She was one of two Zetas. It is
Okay.
Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. One of two
Okay.
Zetas on the yard or on our campus. And I'm like, what do you mean there isn't 50 million girls that, they don't even know each other's first names and whatever else goes on. And I was like, I love this. And the two of them would be doing service, tabling. They'd be raising money for different things. A big thing was the March of Dimes, which
Okay.
I'm a pediatric nurse. I've done PICU, NICU, all those type of things. So I've always been very passionate about that. I was a premature baby. So I was like, okay, like I really like, what they have going on. But I'm like, I'm just some white girl. Like they're not, like what they wouldn't accept me.
Oh.
And then I met, her name's Katie. She was another Caucasian woman in the Pittsburgh area. She pledged through Pitt, Xi Delta chapter.
Okay.
I met her. Raven's like, you got to meet Katie. Like, you got to meet Katie. I met her. I was like, oh, you know what? Yes. Like, this is 100% for me. You've sold me. Like, so you go through like an interest phase. You go through what is an intake phase. That was 5 weeks and 5 days. And then it was just me and one other girl, Shanae Cleveland, who became part of the Sigma Sigma chapter of Zeta Phi Beta sorority at Robert Morris's campus. So it was just such a tight-knit community. I got so close with so many Zetas and Sigmas in the Pittsburgh area. I had line sisters at IUP. I had line sisters, all over Clarion. And I still to this day have so many connections because of that. And it's a national organization. So I would hop on our national organization forum, Facebook, and be like, hey, sorors, I'm going to LA and I need connections on, the service or whatever. And they would be right on it. It's just such a supportive group of women. And it taught me that like intake process taught me so much. Like carry with me for life. I pledged in, I did my intake in 2013 and it's about to be 2023. And I still to this day, every single day in my head, say excuses are monuments of nothingness. They build bridges to nowhere. Those who use these tools of incompetence are masters of nothing. Every single day in my head.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that is good right there. So that's a beautiful thing to even say, like, you're able to connect with, women all over the world, like all over to, because of that connection you have through that sorority. And that's beautiful. Like, that's like you have sisters all over. All over.
There's actually a graduate chapter. So it's not something that whenever you leave college, it's gone and forgotten. We have graduate chapters all over. So whenever I left college, I still had a network of sorors my age and above who are there to kind of, you can network with them, or you have support for ongoing through life. Like I moved back to Erie, there's a graduate chapter here, a newer graduate chapter. And, sorors came to my grand opening, and it's like they're always doing service for the local area. Like it is. It's amazing. It's an amazing group of women.
So it's really like it's a serious sisterhood forever, pretty much. Like that is awesome. And Evie, she said, "Come through, Soros, Zeta Phi Beta, baby." Okay, I know it.
There's my soror right there.
Yes, I know. And she's been in the comments. We appreciate you watching. So I mean, I know we can't help but talk about your business. And you said, I didn't realize you said you also went back to work full time. So you're a nurse and you run a business.
Mhm.
So
So for
tell me
40
more
hours a
about
week
that.
at night while everyone's sleeping, 7 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., I'm at the hospital. And
Wow.
then I'm usually like either back here, I'll sleep when my baby sleeps, so 1 or 2 hours
Mhm.
or so. So if you see me in person, I'm looking crazy, just know. Just know I'm
Yes.
probably running off of 2 hours of sleep in about 2 days. So
Wow. Go go ahead, cause
it's
I
crazy.
have 2. I mean, I have a 10 well, right now it's a little harder because I have my business, but they're both in, like, activities and
Oh
everything,
my gosh,
so
yeah.
go ahead, sister,
I
'cause
know. I
wow.
always feel for those moms that are like, "Okay, Tuesday we have soccer and
Yeah.
Wednesday we have karate and da-da." I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like,
Yeah, but like you
that
said,
becomes hard.
yeah, no, yeah, but like you said, I do have an amazing support system, so it is a blessing to have them, but at the end of the day, you're the mom and things fall back on you and, so and you also want them to, you wanna make sure your babies are good, so it's like, wow, so for you to say that and so what is it like working in the pediatric field?
Um, it's not for the weak. Let me tell you
Mm,
what. Especially when I started out at the Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, and
okay.
it was the pediatric ICU. So, 2 city blocks, 36 beds of sick kids from all
Wow.
over, like, every kid from here, Youngstown, areas where there isn't ICU care, they get shipped
Mhm.
there.
Mm,
And it's, I mean, the worst of the worst situations, the
mhm,
worst social situations, abuse, neglect.
mm,
It's hard and it's rough and it
mhm,
pulls at your heartstrings like nothing you would ever imagine. Like, how could somebody do this to a kid? Or
mhm,
why do kids have to go through cancer? Like, things like
mhm.
that. And those first like 2 years as a nurse, like, I won't even lie, I would come home crying all the time.
Mm,
And then you kind of find your strength and you find your way to separate a little bit
mhm,
when you
mhm,
leave work, but it's also the most rewarding
mhm,
like
mhm,
form of nursing. I really feel like it's the most rewarding form of nursing. Kids just they bounce back so quick, and they're just
mhm,
kind of not like oblivious to what's going on, but it's like, they start their day and they're positive and
mhm,
they don't have the weight of the world weighing on their
mhm,
shoulders
mhm.
about, us cranky adults, when we go into the hospital, like, I'm
Yes,
like here for days, whatever.
yes.
Like, they're resilient and they're in, the pet therapy dogs come around and they're happy and it's like, like nothing even, it's
Mhm.
just that's fun and exciting for them. So
Yeah,
it's the most rewarding thing. And to see kids get better, like, and be out of there, it's like, okay, like,
I
this
love
is
it.
why I do what I do type of thing.
Yes, and you're right, it does take a special person to do that because when you as you're talking, I actually was working at a grieving center for children, and it's kinda that I
Mhm.
mean, they're not sick, but they're grieving and how they are resilient, and we did the therapy dogs too and things
Mhm.
like that, and it does take you like you said, like, you came home for the first 2 years and were emotional, and I
Mhm.
remember I was the one that took the calls, so I'm hearing all these death stories and you like the many
Yeah.
ways you can like people die and just the tragic things and it's like, "Oh my god," like taking that home with me
Mhm.
and feeling that, but then it's almost like I almost got so numb to it too that it was
Mhm.
like, I don't wanna lose like my who I am, like my empathetic self, but it's like, how am I supposed to like know this is like meaningful work, but also not get, like, so detached from it that it's my job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how have you been able to, like, still keep that genuine care, but also know, like, this is my job and, I'm gonna see these sick kids and, things like that?
I think just remembering that this was something I was called to do, like,
Mm.
I was called to do this. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't even understand those first couple years, like, why am I doing this? Like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, this is sad. Why am I doing this? But realizing, like, okay, I've been great with kids my whole life. Like, I worked in a daycare when I was in college. Like, all of my steps up to this point have been aligned to do this. And to interact with these kids and to interact with these sick kids and support these families. And even when I don't feel like it, I have what's in me to do this. And when it's like, and what's hard about being a nurse is you are showing up for 12 hours, you're shutting off your life and all the problems that you have going on, because it is humbling and a reality check when you walk in those doors. Like, oh my God, what I have going on is not that bad compared to what's going on right now. With these families and these kids and what they're going through. But showing up and showing them that, you know, a piece of compassion. Like, I remember a little girl I had, she was having brain surgery that morning for a tumor. And we spent the night before, like, washing and braiding her hair so that whenever they cut in, that they wouldn't have to shave too much of her head. And when she came back and she was laying down for so long, her hair wouldn't get all ratted and, you know, matted in the back. And it's just like little things like that where I'm like, okay, like, this is what I was called to do. And like, even if it's sad, like, you were hands in the pot of a situation like that. You know, like, you were that person for those families, and you were that, you know, that compassionate heart and that helping hand. And you just have to, like, realize, like, okay, it's not all great all the time, but you have to, when you leave those doors and you clock out, it's okay, I'm focusing on myself and my life from here on out, because I can't carry that home with me. It's too heavy.
Wow. Woo! I'm feeling all the feels right now. Like, wow, that is some powerful stuff. And for you to say, like, you know, you are called to do this, like, when do you feel like you realized that? Like, what was this before you decided? Like, did you always know you wanted to go to school to be in nursing?
I originally thought I wanted to be a nurse practitioner in high school.
Okay.
So kind of, and like, my aunts are all LPNs and nurses and just, you know, like, super caring people. So
it's in the bloodline.
Yeah, I guess. But it just, I feel like once I started seeing the rewards of it, people being like, thank you for taking such good care of me. Like, it meant so much to me, like, that you took care of me. That's when I was like, okay, like, definitely called to do this.
Yes. I can totally relate, because, like, Divinely Crowned, like, I've been posting all these. Well, I posted stuff for years. Didn't know, like, the other day I posted 7 years ago, like, I'm gonna be a CEO one day. Didn't even know about no Divinely Crowned back then. But it's like, as I'm growing in this and really, like, seeing the interactions and seeing the responses, like, not looking for them, but just hearing how they're coming in, it's like, okay, Davina, you really are called to do this. So it is awesome when you see, like, what you're passionate about, what you're passionate about, what you feel in your heart you want to be doing. Even seeing, like, as you grew up, you saw those family members and you're like, oh, I want to do this. And then getting those confirmations and those validations from others, not even looking for it, but it comes, it's like, oh yeah.
And I saw something even yesterday. It was like, your desires were placed in your heart and on your mind for a reason. So like, even if it's not reflecting that right now, like, you know, you post things on social media, you're not getting all the likes, nobody likes it, whatever. That is still your course, and it may change, you know what I mean, along the way, but your desires and what you want and what you see for yourself was placed on your heart and your mind for a reason. So like, when 7 years ago, when you were posting, I'm going to be a CEO, that was placed there for a reason, and it may take time to come to fruition, but it, like, that's for you. And once it does, and once you step in your power, like you are right now, it's crazy. It's crazy what can transpire.
Listen. Girl, talk to the people. This is why I wanted to do this podcast. Like, I don't feel like people hear this stuff enough. I don't feel like people are able to always truly hear the journeys that we go through, and the understandings and the things that we, like, realize about ourselves and these aha moments and these awakening moments, people don't get to hear that. People get to see what we portray, what not we portray. Because I hate that word, that statement when people say like, oh, like people take social media too seriously. Like who I am on social media is who I am in real life. Okay,
Yeah,
like
right.
you might not see all of it, but you see, I share whatever I share is true. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So to be able to like, yes, people see that version or that side of you, but to hear the deeper parts of you and the ones that I believe are inspiring other people, it's just beautiful. I love it so much. So Divinely Crown is all about confidence and self-love and self-care. So I always like to ask the question, like, what does confidence mean to you, as well as look like to you, and how can you maybe inspire or encourage other queens out there to have confidence as well? Because you always been in my eyes, you've always been a confident person. And I know we all have our struggles, but like, what does confidence look like to you, Lindsey?
I think confidence, which I love this topic right now because, like I said, I'm in the thick of like postpartum. So like I don't typically recognize this version of me right now, as myself, but it's embodying it. This is where I'm at right now. And beauty and these things that we hold to this high standard are greater than just the flesh, greater than just what you see.
Yes.
It's when you walk in a room and the way you can influence it. It's just feeling comfortable in where you're at right now. It's like, well, I used to be 130 pounds. Like, no, you need to be confident in where you are right now. And then even if you're striving for something different, that's okay. But just embodying fully yourself, your flaws, everyone's different. And me particularly love, even though we have this, beauty thing going on, I love natural beauty, and I love people that embody their natural beauty. And it's to me the most beautiful thing. So embodying who you are without any alterations, or if you want to do them alterations, cool, it's great. If it makes you feel confident, that's fine. But just embodying and staying true to who you are, deeper than the flesh.
This is so good. I just love it. That is a good definition. And I hope that somebody out there that struggles with confidence, like really takes that and kind of adopts it into what your journey, because I'm a confidence coach, okay?
Yeah.
But that does not mean that I am always confident, but like really going back to what, like you were saying, just going back and realizing like, okay, what do I feel like it is? How am I embodying for myself? Whatever people see is what they see, but like for me, because I'm always saying like confidence is my favorite accessory, but sometimes like it's just like you said, how you walk into a room and present yourself.
You just gotta show up, and you can't sit there and be in your head about stuff. Because even like me recently, you know what I mean, being postpartum, I'm like, I got a vacation coming up. I'm like, girl, I gotta get it together. I gotta be in the gym. I gotta lose weight. I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Does that mean I'm gonna not enjoy myself and relaxing on the beach? Like, no.
No, good for you. Listen, it's all good. Listen, it's about the journey, the body journey, the life journey. It's just all about the journey. So speaking of traveling, you were doing that a lot for like before mom life. So how was that? Like, I know you went to Greece, which I don't know if you saw, but finally,
I will literally whatever you need to know, I'll let you know where you need to go.
Yes, June. We actually have a group. My group of friends. We have literally our name in our group chat is Greece 2023. So June 2023.
That's how you have to speak it into existence too.
Yes, listen. You were like one of the first people I talked. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to Greece. She's like, listen, get on. I think you told me get on Groupon or something.
Yeah, no, seriously, Groupon. Travel agents will like post their thing, and it was through Great Value Vacations, and it's like they have all these deals or whatever. They set up everything. I swear to God, the only thing we paid for was like Ubers and food. Like they literally had hotels, taxis to and from the airport, like the ferry to Santorini, everything set up. We did Italy, Athens, Greece, and Santorini, Greece, and it was amazing.
Sounds amazing. So how was it, or how do you plan on taking your baby with you when you go to your trip this time?
Yes, we're just going to Florida. This is a little baby step, but I'm itching to go. I'm itching to go back to Italy. I want to go to the Amalfi Coast and Pastiano and all that. And I want to be that mom. I want to show my baby the world. Like my parents, I mean, they didn't really show us the world, but I mean, in 6th grade, we went to Mexico. And, you know, we always went to Florida to my grandma's house. And just, I mean, I am a Sagittarius, so it's like I itch to literally go travel the world at, you know.
Yeah, but it is the season coming up.
Exactly. Like you
my last guest was just a Sagittarius. Okay. I did not mean for
us stepping into Sagittarius season. We're all defrosting.
So yeah, because you know, like you said, like we traveled, I think the most we went to Niagara Falls and stuff like that. But that was, now you can't even go to Toronto without a dang passport. So I guess now I'm like, yeah, that was a big deal. But my goal is to take my children. They want to go to Paris so bad. Like my daughter's plans has already been, when I graduate, I'm moving to Paris. I'm going to fashion school. Like that should be dead set. So I'm gonna speak it out. In 2024, I'm taking them to Paris.
Absolutely.
So that is the goal. By then, I believe Divinely Crowned is going to be really flourishing financially. Okay. So that is the goal. And I just definitely want, like you said, to just keep traveling with them to big places and wherever they want to go.
I'm so sorry.
Listen, we're working too.
Are you here for an appointment?
I love it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you don't mind just going next door, I'll be over in just a few minutes. I'm doing a live podcast, so I'll be right with you. Okay.
This is real, honest, open, and transparent conversation.
I know, like
real and raw. We love it. But I'm not going to take up too much more of your time then, so you can go back to, you know, being the boss lady that you are. But before I go and let you go, I have been asking this question to all my guests, and it pretty much is, what would you tell at this age right now, getting ready to be 30s, which you're going to love, by the way, because 30s is just fire. But what would you tell young Lindsey at this age you're at now? What would you tell her?
I would tell her, relax, like don't be so critical of yourself, because you are going to get it and you're going to reach what you want to reach. Also be a little bit smarter with your money. Just because you start making 6 figures when you're 25 doesn't mean you need to be acting like a big baller. And like just enjoy the ride. Like it has been so crazy, and I feel like I've worked so hard, and I definitely was like, you know, I was living my best life. I was traveling, you know, about to go to Bali before, you know, COVID and all that.
Wow.
But enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Don't take it so seriously, and like work yourself up about everything, because I'm very critical of myself. So that's what I would tell young Lindsey.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. This was a great conversation. I am so glad. I'm glad that I'm your first interview, because
I know I'm gonna have to do this more often.
Yes, you tell people like she knows how to do an interview. So get with my girl Lindsey. She has a business she needs to be sharing with the world. Once again, one more thing before you go. Go ahead and tell the people, promote yourself and your business. Go ahead and
you can see it in the back there. Glow Luxe Aesthetics. We do permanent makeup. So I know everyone has Instagram. You see the ombre brows. We do that. Microblading. So we do brow, all things brow. And then we have facials. We have massage therapy. We do lash lift, tints, lash extensions, all of that fun stuff. And we actually have a Botox brunch coming up December 3rd. Okay. Yeah, so we have a nurse practitioner from Scrubbed Aesthetics coming December 3rd. She's from Pittsburgh. She owns her own business. She also does permanent makeup and all of that, but she will be doing Botox and fillers.
Okay.
We're giving away free lip filler
Oh,
for
wow.
one person. Yes, for one person coming up on Black Friday, we're drawing the winner. So if
Okay.
you follow our social medias, it's Glow Lux Aesthetic on
Mhm.
Facebook, Glow Lux or Glow_Lux_Aesthetics on Instagram, or you can follow me, Linds_BSN on Instagram, or Lindsey Lee on Facebook, and you'll just see all of our posts because I don't care to annoy y'all. I would
Yeah.
just keep sharing my business posts over.
Yes, listen. And when I get done, I'll definitely get those so I can put them in the show notes. So you can follow her, connect with her. Like I said, this was awesome. Evie, thank you. You've been rocking with
Yes,
us the
thank you,
whole time.
Taylor.
She said, good job, ladies. We appreciate that. And like I said, Lindsey, thank you so much for your time and just having these real, honest, open, and transparent conversations. And I just want you to know I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you, girl. I
Thank
love this. You're
you.
doing good things.
Thank you. I'm working, girl. I can't say trying anymore. I'm working.
You are.
So we'll definitely have to do some things, okay?
Oh,
Divinely
yeah.
Crowned, I'm trying to have an event. So another
Yeah.
I've
And
had
I
money.
need some cocktails and mommy
Yes.
kid-free time.
Just be prepared. 2023 is going to be with the real Divinely Crowned event. So,
Yeah.
yes, but I won't take any more of your time. I know you're a busy lady. So I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to wrap up with my viewers. So
Thank
have
you
a
so
great
much.
day. Kiss baby girl for me.
Of course.
From Auntie Dina. All right, dear. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You guys, I am loving these conversations, and I really hope you are too, because I just feel like every one of them has been so unique and special, and I just feel like everything that I have been wanting and really envisioned for this podcast is like really coming to fruition. So I am just so excited, and I just thank Lindsey again for being on the podcast. So before I wrap up, just some reminders. Follow the podcast, follow the brand as I just continue to grow. I have so much more in store. Also, which keep forgetting to remind everybody, you can be a part of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast in a unique way. So what I am trying to work on doing is having my viewers or listeners be able to write in to Dear Divine. And how that's going to work is pretty much you write in with anonymous questions, or even if you want to give encouragement, even if you want to just give your review on the podcast, write in. You'll just write in to Dear Divine at DivinelyCROWN'D.com. And just, send an anonymous message. And yours may be able to be aired on my next podcast episode. So I'm going to get better at trying to say that. I would love to at least see like one person like write in, because I think it'd be cool. Like I would do it. But either way, I'm going to get ready to go here. And stay tuned for the next interview coming very soon. And thank you for those who have continued to watch and support not just the podcast, but just Divinely Crowned in general. And until next time, remember you are divinely crowned. Bye.